Thank you again for being here and for being a part of this political dialogue. I think it's clear that we have some stark choices and some stark differences between different styles of candidates. And when you look at what's being promised and what's being discussed up here, it's very clear. My opponent has great plans for what Washington is going to do for us. And he has been attempting to implement these plans for the past 22 years. But what sort of plans are we talking about? When you look at his voting record, Mr. Price votes with Nancy Pelosi more than any other congressman. That's not representing us, that's doing what he's told. And when you look at the cost of these plans, the outcome of these plans, we understand as Americans that nation building doesn't work. Community building, when we're doing the building, works. But when we try to ship trillions of dollars overseas to build countries in foreign lands, that doesn't work so well. Do we expect that same mentality to work in our own communities? We need a government that is in touch with the people. It's not about what Washington is going to do for us or increasingly do to us. It's what we are going to be empowered to do for ourselves. That's building our local economies, creating our jobs and businesses, and being in the position to create the world that we want for our children based upon our own efforts. The federal government does have an important role, a critical role. It starts with a strong national defense. It starts with securing our borders. It starts with not granting mass amnesty to 12 to 20 million folks who have entered this country illegally. It starts with standing up for the rights of individual Americans and living up to the obligations and the promise of our Declaration of Independence, where every American individual has the unalienable, God-given right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Well, you know, I may have lots of flaws, but I must say, I think you know me well enough to know that not thinking for myself is not one of them. I'm sometimes accused of overthinking things, but I'll leave it up to you to decide who's been talking in sound bites here today and who's been giving a more textured answer or thoughtful answer to your questions. I won't ask the question here that I often ask in the Wake County classrooms, like how many of you were born here in this district. I know what the result would be. I wouldn't raise my hand. I was born in a perfectly supportive and nurturing community over in East Tennessee, but I chose to live here, just like you chose to live here. We love this region. We are attracted by its opportunities, its quality of life, and we want to enhance this. It's all not doom and gloom. A lot going for us here. We've done a lot of things right. We just need to make sure that this legacy is passed on to the next generation. We've heard a lot today about how government just needs to stand out of the way. Well, sometimes government does need to just get out of the way. We all know the engine of our growth, of job creation, is business, small and large business. And there are hundreds, thousands of them here that are models for what we need in this economy. But we have not gotten where we are in the triangle by being politically dogmatic, by being doctrinaire. We've gotten here by understanding that we've got to be practical and pragmatic. The word we use probably more than any other is partnerships. Sometimes it is public-private partnerships. The business community, the entire community, has a stake in good public education, in quality training in our community colleges, in this research, which is our lifeblood, which is a public-private venture. In our infrastructure, this chamber has put so much effort into building up our infrastructure. These are elements where government, the right kind of government, the right kind of politics, can help us and move us forward. Let's resolve not to abandon that legacy, but indeed to face these new challenges, appreciating what's brought us here and how we need to pass it along to the next generation.